It's one thing for fans to ship two characters, but it's quite another for a celebrity to do it. That too, a celebrity that plays one of them in a live action. Have you guessed who we're talking about? Alright, don't rack your brain. It's Margot Robbie. Apparently, she's a Harley shipper. Yep, you heard that right. Before you get any more curious, let's quickly fill you in on the details, followed by some more strange Margot Robbie facts. First off, and at lucky number 7, she's been pushing for a Harley Quinn Poison Ivy romance. For those of you who don't know, Margot Robbie has been replaced by Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn in Joker 2. This means that after playing Harley in 3 movies, her future in the DC universe is pretty undetermined at this point. Regardless, the Oscar nominee has a few ideas about her anti-hero's eventual return. While speaking to comicbook.com during her Babylon press tour, and according to a Variety report as well, she's been trying to get a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy romance off the ground for some years now. To quote her loosely, she's been pushing for it quite hard. As far as the question of who she wants to see in the role of Poison Ivy goes, she explained how she always envisions the character from the comics, and not any actress in particular. Speaking of actresses, she also expressed how she's happy that Gaga is stepping into Harley's role. As a matter of fact, it's something that she's proud of herself for. To elaborate, Robbie thinks that she's built such a strong foundation for Harley as a character that any other great actor can have a go at playing her. We couldn't agree more. Moving on to number 6, she has a special connection with John Cena. Even though he's appeared in several Hollywood productions in the past, John Cena's entry into the superhero as well as the upper echelons of Hollywood, is quite different. As a result, his relationship with his newer and more famous co-stars is quite fresh. But not when it comes to his Suicide Squad co-star, Margot Robbie. Margot's relationship with the wrestler-turned-actor goes way back. And we mean way back. Believe it or not, Robbie was a WWE fan growing up. Now, while she was a huge Undertaker fan, and eventually grew out of it in her teenage years, one of her ex-boyfriends in her 20s, on the other hand, was a huge John Cena fan. And not just a casual fan, mind you. The dude, the actress revealed, was so obsessed with the wrestler that he dressed up as him for his 21st birthday. To add to that, he used to have a cardboard cutout of him in his room. Not so bad, right? It's pretty casual for fans to do things like this. But imagine sleeping or waking up in a room with a life-size cutout. The Birds of Prey actress doesn't have to. To quote, "Sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh, it's just John Cena. It's okay." Safe to say, she saw him like not many have to this day. Coming up at number 5, she went to circus school. Okay, before we begin, we'd like to clarify something. When we say she went to circus school, we don't mean she trained to be a clown. That's just a US thing. We're kidding. Basically, while growing up in Australia, Robbie's mom encouraged her to find a hobby. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the circus school came in. From what we know, she graduated, for lack of a better term, from this, organization with a trapeze certificate at the age of 8. Now, even though she had given up on it for a while, Margot explained how she kept dreaming about it. In consequence, she re-enrolled in these classes, and, if sources are anything to go by, then she's still disgustingly good at it. This was also made apparent in her June 2016 Vogue cover interview, where, to everyone's surprise, she threw one trick after another. These tricks included, but weren't limited to, the set split and the set straddle. And get this, she demonstrated them all without much effort. One more trapeze-related thing that might interest you is that was it not for this skill, Margot would have had a harder time becoming Harley Quinn. Simply put, during casting calls, she particularly caught David Ayer's eye because of how well she could perform tricks without a stunt performer. At number 4, let's also talk about her Love Island obsession. We don't know about you, but when it comes to us, we can't help but think of celebrities as these highly occupied individuals. You know what we're talking about, right? It's difficult to imagine that they have the time to watch the same, usually brain-dead content as us, but it turns out that they do. Now, when it comes to the Harley Quinn actress, she's a huge fan of the ITV2 dating show Love Island. We're not kidding. She revealed this, if we recall correctly, on ITV's Lorraine while promoting Suicide Squad back in 2021. And guess what? While she was talking about how much she adores it, she also disclosed James Gunn's love of the program. As funny as it sounds, the two chatted about the villa drama during filming for the comic book blockbuster. In fact, the two spoke about the show more than the film while they were on set. As for her favorites on the show, she showed her support for Liberty Pool. But when asked if she'd want to be on it, Margot replied in the negative. According to her, her, she's not cool enough. What's more, she believes that no one would want to watch a girl who just sits around drinking beer and eating chips every evening. Yeah, we don't agree with her there. But anyhow, to each their own. We're glad she found love the conventional way. Up next at number 3, how she once shared an apartment with Christina Ricci. Not many people know about Margot's lesser-known role in a historical comedy called Pan Am. Set in the 1960s, she played the role of a stewardess on it. Now, interestingly enough, during the show's shooting, she shared an apartment with none other than Christina Ricci, who we hope at least needs no introduction. Robbie, to this day, looks back on the experience fondly and acknowledges that had it not been for Ricci, she would have struggled to get into the vintage costumes for the program. In case you're wondering why the show's not popular, it's because it was canceled due to reduced viewership. All in all, she was up and personal with famous people even before she hit it big. Then, at number 2, let's discuss how she received death threats after playing Harley. Although the role of Harley Quinn helped turn her into an A-lister, there was a dark side to it as well. And when we say dark, we don't mean acting-wise. Believe it or not, in one of her interviews, Margot Robbie revealed that she received multiple death threats for taking on the role in Suicide Squad. Not just that, she opened up about how she wished someone had warned her about things like this. Now, some of you might be thinking that it's an everyday thing for celebrities, but let's remind you that this was her first comic book film. This explains why she asked her security to do a background check on the people that sent them. At the simplest, Robbie just wanted to confirm if these people had any past history of violence so that she could be cautious about security at certain events. And guess what? These checks didn't come cheap. From what we've gathered, each one of them cost her around $2,000. Yeah, we can see why she warned people to seriously consider things before saying yes to a role. Finally, at number 1, technology freaks her out. These days, it's become super common to find celebrities on everyday dating apps. But if you're hoping you're going to find Margot on these apps, think again. In her interview with Elle, she revealed how she has an intense fear of online dating. Why, you ask? Well, it's because technology freaks her out. So much so that she doesn't even know how to send someone a direct message on Instagram. We know what you're thinking. How on earth does she communicate with her friends? Oddly enough, she's a huge fan of letter writing. She's so old school. In fact, she sends people thank you notes instead of emails. But just because she doesn't use these apps doesn't mean she's not curious about them. In the same interview, she explained how she uses her friends' profiles to satiate her curiosity. Honorable mention, her family wanted her to quit acting. From looking at her amazing skill set, no one can guess that her family would be opposed to her making it big in the entertainment industry. But that was the case. Yep, while speaking to Vogue, she opened up about how once she got into the business, her family kept pressing her to get a real job, for years at that. But from how things are now, it's pretty clear that they've come around. Good for her, honestly. That's a wrap for this video. How do you feel about Harley? Do you know some other strange facts about Margot? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.
I think she's going to do an amazing job. I'm so excited. It's all I could have ever hoped for Harley was that she would become one of those characters that kind of like Batman.
I love your accent.
American women all love accents.
We do. You were gonna save me?
It gave me the space to really reflect on the mistakes of my past.